All right, guys. So, bit of a surprise here for both of us. I'm gonna record a fifth episode for Doki Doki Literature Club because, I didn't reach the quote unquote canonical ending for the whole game. I don't even know if I used that term correctly, but basically, there's more to the um, endless Monica thing. So, without further explanation, I'm just gonna jump right into the game. Now, Steam tells me the last time I played was a little bit over 2 weeks ago. I plan to do this recording, soonish because I wanted to have some sort of closure for the game, right? This brings back like a little bit of a chill, like straight away. The soundtrack is pretty spooks. So, anyways, um, on the last episode, I basically played to this phase, which is you're stuck with Monica forever in the game, and that's not all there is. And I'm sure it might be blatantly obvious for some of you guys. There's been a lot of hints that you should be, messing with the game files. That's what the developers kind of push you to do. But I didn't do it. I think partly because I was a little bit tired, and also I just wanted to see just how far you can get, just from this sort of dialogue alone. So basically, after playing the game, I went up, on the internet to look up what other people thought, a little bit of spoilers here and there. So I know this is not the true ending, and there's like a whole chunk after this, which is called Act 4 and then credits. Now, I'm just going to spoil everything because obviously if you're here watching this, you're watching someone else play the game, you might as well spoil yourself. And of course, you can go ahead and, go on Reddit or go on the Wikipedia page for this. And there's a lot of explanation for what's going on and a lot of the cool quirks. So I'm doing this mostly, partly for myself and also, for the viewers, for whoever's watching this, because even though you can look it up yourself, it's kind of nice to have everything in one place, right? So like I'm playing this and then I don't want to leave it where I make myself look kind of dumb as well by only getting stuck on Monica, which is what the game calls the end of Act 3. So anyways, so what I'm supposed to do now is to go to my game folder, which is for me located at local disk, program file times 86, Steam library, Steam apps, common, Doki Doki Literature Club, and then there's a characters folder. And inside the characters folder, there's a bunch of .chr files, which corresponds to each character in this game. And basically, what Monaco was describing in the last episode was that she deleted the other characters because even though she tried to manipulate them so that I wouldn't be attracted to them, I guess, it didn't work out. So she ended up deleting them and deleting everything else in the game. So it's just me and her. So in order to move on from this endless cycle of just staring at her face, I have to actually go to the game file and delete her character. So if you don't do it, then every time you start the game, she's gonna be like, "Oh, Michael, you're back. I just had a bad dream," which is me closing the game. So I don't know if it will trigger immediately, if I delete the character file when the game is still running. That would be quite cool. So I'm gonna try that. If it doesn't work, I can obviously just restart the game. So you can't see my file explorer because that's too much effort for me to show multiple windows. I'm just gonna delete her character file right now. So I just did that. Let's see. Oh, it worked. That's really cool. I really like that how Oh, okay. So, I spoiled myself, but I didn't spoil myself completely. I kind of skimmed through what was going to happen. So there might be a couple more jump scares. I'm not sure. If there is, fuck me in the ass. So Monica.chr does not exist because I deleted it. Oh boy, and now there's a lot of spooky noises. Uh, did you do this to me, Michael? Yes, I did. Okay, showing her anger through making things. How could you do this to me? Sacrifice everything for us to be together. Alright. So, other than this, um, well, you're gonna see what's gonna happen. I don't know if it's like a better ending than getting stuck with Monica, but you get to the credits, which is really cool because you get to see uh, what you've gone through in this game. And other than the game itself, obviously, the devs wanted you to go and explore the game files. And now she's, kind of mad at me. But the game files themselves, each of them is like a mini Easter egg. And you can't really figure that out through the game. Oh, she's still... Oh, this music is like really melancholic. So, the character files, each of them are special because they contain some Easter egg that takes a bit of manipulation to get to. Most of them don't really have anything to do with the game itself, but I figured if I'm gonna make this episode, I might as well share everything that I found to be interesting. And that's basically this game. If I had to review this game and describe it in a nutshell, I would say it's very interesting. It's very interesting and it's very well done in the sense that the developers put a lot of effort into it. They made a lot of quirks. They made it special, and there's Easter eggs. There's stuff that's out of the norm. But in terms of pure gameplay, pure plot, I don't think it was like revolutionary. It didn't really change my life or anything. But because of all the effort put into the details, that's what really makes it a good game. So the music stopped, and then all right. Is it gonna be a jump scare now? Oh, it is not. Okay, so this is the final restart of the game. Like the game kind of has these scripted restarts. I don't know which. I don't know like if this is like restart number 3 or something. But as you can see, well, you're gonna see soon that, hey, look at that, Sayuri is back. She's alive. So great. And it's been like 2 weeks, and this just from playing 4 episodes of this, which is what, roughly 4 hours of gameplay, I don't know why, but the soundtracks in this game kind of you get kind of attached to it. But in any case, basically you start over the game and it's the same dialogue. You go through this happy-go-lucky school environment. Except that Monica's no longer there, and eventually you'll reach some sort of plot twist, I guess. But before we get there, I'm just gonna spend this time to talk about the cool Easter eggs in the character files, which you might care, you might not. It might be just a bunch of mumbo jumbo to you. But I found this on Reddit, and I have it on the other screen, so I'm just gonna tell you what they found. So, there's Sayori, there's Girl 2, which, oh man, I don't remember their names. Okay, I cheated. So it's Natsuki, Sayori, Monica, and Yuri. So each of them has a .chr file. For Sayori, her CHR file is basically like CHR files don't really mean anything. Like programs, files, they have a file extension, maybe .txt is a text file, .mp4 is a, video, etc., etc. .chr is just something arbitrary, you can name a file to be any extension you want. And this one, apparently, when you convert it into an OGG file, it becomes a soundbite. And then when you apply a visualizer and a spectrograph to it, I don't know any of this shit, but you apply that kind of stuff in it, and then you clean it up, and you get a QR code. So the QR code gives you a link, and the link that it gives you is projectlibitina.com. And projectlibitina.com basically just shows a bunch of text, which is about 2 test subjects. It doesn't really say anything, and it has absolutely no relation to this game as far as I know. But people contemplate that. I'm just going to take a quick sip of my water here. Like, people contemplate that Project Libitina has something to do with another game that the developers, which is Team Salvato or something, that it's something that they're working on next. So it's a bit of a cool self-promotion there. And then moving on to Monica.chr. Monica.chr is basically they convert it into a PNG file, which is a picture. And when you transform it into a PNG file, it shows an image of a flaming ring with a white and black scrambled square in the center. So when you zoom in to that scrambled square in the center, zoomify, enhance, you get a bunch of black and white pixels. And if you put these pixels in order, you get an array. And if you convert that into binary, which is ones and zeros, obviously ones and zeros is computer code, and you can translate that depending on what format it is. And so converting it into alphanumeric text brings up a base 64 translation. When you convert it, it gives you, what does it give you? It gives you this poem. It gives you this poem that reads, "Can you hear me? Who are you? I can't see you, blah, 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 blah." And it refers to something called the third eye. So I don't really remember what it really refers to. It might be another reference to their future game. It might be like a reference to breaking the fourth wall. But anyways, that, it brings up like a sort of poem or text file, basically. So that's Monica.chr. And then we move on to Natsuki.chr. When you open the file in a text editor, you see that again, it's a PNG file. And when you put it into a PNG, you get this, messed up looking jumble. But apparently, all you have to do is do some manipulation. So the good guys here, they put it into Photoshop, inverted the image, flipped it 180 degrees, then offsetting it to the center the image. I have no idea what that means. And when you map it again onto a 3D sphere as a texture, it looks like the face of a girl. And no idea where that girl is from. It's probably from their future game again. Maybe all of these are promotions of their future game. But yeah, basically Natsuki.chr just transformed into a picture of a girl. What does it look like? So it's kind of like a, it's like this blonde girl with like just the empty pupil and no iris. She looks pretty normal. You know, if you're really interested, you can look it up yourself. But I don't want to spend too much effort and you know, show it here. So finally, we have Yuri.chr, and Yuri.chr is just a long string of alphanumeric text, and obviously you have to decode that. So when you decode it, it's again in base 64, and you get a long poem. And apparently the poem is from a horror story written and submitted to a subreddit on Reddit. So it was a horror story submitted to r/no sleep, which is it's a fictional story, of course, but I visited r/no sleep and I read a good number of stories there. It's a good time waster if you really want to. It's basically everyone there stays in character, so people submit fictional stories, but they're meant to be, you know, you're meant to treat them as if they're real. And then even the comment section, you know, people stay in character. So, you know, if someone submitted a ghost story, maybe one of the comments will be like, oh, I've actually had a similar experience, and I think you should close your doors because that would make you safer, stuff like that. So it's good for, you know, first of all, if you have nothing else to do, you want to read some scary stories, and also it's nice to it's a nice place to, you know, spook yourself if you really wanted to. But text-based like horror stories didn't really get to me. I just read them because some of them are actually legit interesting. But okay, back from that tangent. Basically, Yuri.chr returns a poem, an excerpt from this story written in 2015, posted to r/no sleep, and I think they asked the developer of this game, Dan Salvato, and he confirmed that he actually wrote the story. So, you know, there's nothing too mysterious about that. He wrote it, and then he put a reference to it in the game, and that's the end of it. So, what else do I want to talk about? I think that's about it. Basically, about the choices in this game. You know, I was kind of, you know, tearing myself up in the beginning because I've had a bad experience of I've had a record of making bad decisions in games, most recently in The Witcher 3. And in here I was like, oh, you know, I told Sayuri that we're just friends, and then I feel like she killed herself because I didn't tell her I love her. And I told Yuri that you know, I'm not gonna accept your love because you're batshit crazy, and she kind of stabbed herself to death. But after reading the spoilers, I'm sad to tell you that these decisions. Okay, before I get into that, this is where it gets real. So basically, she, you know, we go through the usual shit, and then she pulls me aside and she says, "I want to thank you because." She knows everything, basically, which, you know, she knew that I got rid of Monica, and whoa, what the actual fuck, right? You know, it doesn't really make sense, and she knows everything, but you know, this wasn't really explained. I guess, you know, every character in here is kind of sentient forever. Okay, this is basically this it just gets kind of too crazy for me. It's like Sario's like, oh, um, I'm 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 happy you got rid of Monica, and then Monica's like, oh, even though you deleted me, I've risen from the ashes, and now I'm gonna stop you from getting together with Sayuri, which is like whatever. But right now is something really cool. Um, it's so if you can't hear it, you should turn up the volume. I guarantee there's not gonna be any jump scares, as far as I know. Basically, it's a girl singing the song to the main theme of this game, and it's actually really nice. It has lyrics. Um, so it's playing DDLC.OGG. Which after playing only 4 hours of the game, it's actually quite catchy, and I would even say like a pretty decent song. It's really, it's this. Come on, this is a much better ending than getting stuck with Monica, right? Even though it kind of gets a little bit too crazy and nonsensical. Hey, I like it. Ba 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 ba. Yeah, so obviously the song's only in English because it's supposed to be English. And then this is the credit scene. It shows you all the illustrations that were shown, and these are all the ones that we've encountered. So obviously, we met Natsuki, we met Yuri, we saw Yuri sharing her book with us. And then it will show some pictures that we haven't seen. So it basically shows you all the illustrations that were available in this game. And oh, this is where is that from? That was when we were baking. So basically, I chose to spend the weekend with Natsuki. This is if you instead chose to have it with Yuri. So you do something with her. I have no idea. This one we didn't encounter. I don't know the reason. Oh, we also didn't encounter this one. So, we actually didn't encounter a lot of the CGs. Oh, look, and now there's Monica. I don't think we've ever seen this in game. So this CG is if you told Soryu that you loved her instead of as a friend, then you guys, embrace. But in the end, she kills herself anyways. So your choice of whether you tell her you love her or you love her as a friend, it doesn't matter, basically. She still kills herself. Same thing with the Yuri decision. If you tell Yuri you accept her love, or if you tell her no, get away from me, she stabs herself regardless. So it didn't matter. Alright, we get another poem. This is my final goodbye to the Literature Club. I finally understand. The LC is truly a place where no happiness can be found. Oh, come on. To this very end, I continue to expose innocent minds to a horrific reality. A reality that our world is not designed to comprehend. I can't let any of my friends undergo the same hellish epiphany. For the time it lasted, I want to thank you for making all my dreams come true, for being a friend to all of the club members. And most of all, thank you for being a part of my literature club. Monica. So, now the game basically crashes on you. Yep, so the game crashed. And that's it. So, I wonder what happens if you try to launch it again. I'm going to try that. I don't remember what happens. But basically, Oh, okay, so it just shows the poem and then the game crashes again. So if you want to restart the game, I think there's a file that you can delete in the game, which is basically if you delete this file, then you can start the game afresh. It's but just looking back at the characters folder, Natsuki, Sarir, and Yuri.chr are back, and Monica is still gone. But yeah, basically that's it. We've reached the true ending of the game, and there's really not much else to say. If you like the game, I don't know why I'm even promoting it. I feel like this is kind of just what people say, in terms of Let's Plays. They're like, oh, if you enjoyed this game, you can like, subscribe, blah blah blah, and then if you want to check out the game, it's on Steam. But there's already like the next hype. The next hype on Steam is like this. I forgot what it's called. It's basically this guy in a pot, and then you try to climb. Yeah, I forgot what it's called. So, anyways, you know, this is Doki Doki Literature Club, episode 5, with good closure. So, thanks for watching, I guess, and see you next time in whatever else I play. Good night.